Welcome back to Panther Talk. With this week being National Vocations Week,
We decided to interview 3 teachers at PVI with 3 different vocations.
and here they are. Hi, Panthers. Today we're here with
Deacon Ted.
And obviously you're a deacon, so our first question is, what would you say your favorite thing about being a deacon is?
Being able to serve at the altar, without question, to stand there. It's very humbling, especially after the consecration, when the priest says, "Behold the Lamb of God," and the deacon is told to stand next to the priest. And when the other priests are there, they all kneel. It's pretty humbling thing to know that that's what you're called to do at that moment, to stand with the priest there at service. So I would say that is that's the greatest gift, to serve at Mass.
Awesome. That's all. Thank you, Deacon Ted.
Thank you, guys. Go Panthers.
Hey, today we're here with
Mrs. Gurley.
and we have 2 questions. The first question is, what is your favorite part about married life?
That is a great question. My favorite part about married life is this is it. Like, you found the one. You found the one that will keep your heart safe, and the one that's not going to leave. There's such a peace and a joy in that, especially when for so long you were wondering, will I ever find him? Of course, having our beautiful 4 kids was a phenomenal part of being married. And, as you learn in theology class, that's a way that we image the Trinity by that communion of persons, that life-giving love. So yeah, marriage is awesome.
That is a very beautiful answer.
Thank you.
And our second question is, how do you know what your vocation is?
That's a very good question. And especially for you guys at this age. The first thing I have to say is that God is never going to call you to something that will make you miserable. So if you have any fear involved with considering what your vocation might be, don't be fearful, because he only has your best interests at heart. He wants you to be fulfilled and just full of joy in your life. So he won't call you out of joy. He's not a punishing, God to make you miserable. In order to find your vocation, though, you're going to have open lines of communication with him. And the way you have open lines of communication is that you're in his will. You're living in his plan. If you're outside of his plan, it's kind of like you've lost your signal, your cell phone signal, and you can't hear what he's calling you to do and be. So the best way to stay in his will is to stay in his family, in the family of God, his church.
That was a very beautiful answer. Thank you, Mrs. Gurley.
You're so welcome.
Today we're here with
Kieran.
And our first question is, what is a consecrated layperson?
Very good question. So as consecrated layman, I live the life that Jesus lived. I live single, so I made a promise of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So I'm not pursuing marriage, but instead I'm giving myself to the Lord in prayer as well as in ministry.
Awesome. And our second question is, what is the hardest thing about being a consecrated layperson?
I think the hardest thing is remaining faithful to the Lord in prayer. But when we do that, and when we live that life well, he gives us the grace to really do it in a beautiful way. So just remaining faithful is probably the hardest part.
Awesome. Perfect answer. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.